DreAllDay.com.
Part 2. My message to the old heads, those people who are a generation plus older than the people you're talking to, and things that you need to understand when you are talking to them. This is specifically related to men who are 35 and up. So if you're 22, I'm not talking about you talking to 10-year-olds. I'm talking to 35 and up men talking to other men who are under the age of 30. Point number 4. This is a very important one. And this is one that I see so often in the old heads, again, 35 and up men, that it really fucking annoys me even more than anything I said in the first part of this series. Here it is. Stop trying to relate to the younger generations of males. Yes, stop. Stop trying to relate to younger generations of males, even if you work with them on a daily basis, even if you're a coach, even if you're a teacher, even if you are a mentor or whatever term you may be giving yourself. It is not your job at 48 years old to be trying to relate to a bunch of 19-year-olds. All right, they need to learn how to relate to you. That's the position you actually need to take. You don't need to relate to them. They need to relate to you. They need to come up to where you're at. You're not going down to where they are. Now, I know there may be some old heads who disagree with my position here. That's okay. That's the reason why I'm putting it out. When I speak, there may be teenagers listening to this. Maybe somebody's 21 or 22 listening to this. Check this out, 22-year-old. I'm not trying to relate to you. Why I got to relate to you? I'm not in the business of relating to a 22-year-old. I'm not 22. I was already 22. I'm not trying to relate to teenagers. I do not copy the slang of teenagers. I do not try to listen to the same things that you're listening to so I can keep up with whatever you or you all are interested in. I do not try to dress like I am your age. Even though you catch me on the right day, maybe I'll be dressed in a way that you might think that that's what I'm doing. I do not try to behave as if I am in your age bracket, because I'm not in your age bracket. I don't want you to think that I'm one of you all. If you're 22, listen to this, and I'm, for whatever reason, I find myself in the company of a bunch of 22-year-olds. I don't want any of you to think that I'm you. I am not you. We are not on the same level. We are not equals. I am not 22, and I'm not trying to relate to you. All right, I talk to you. If you're 22, listen to this. I will speak to you as if I'm in the age bracket that I'm actually in. And you can speak in the age bracket that you're actually in. All right, young men out there, you have to meet me where I'm at. Why do you have to meet me where I'm at? Because I'm not meeting you where you're at. Because where you're at, I've been already. All right, so why would I walk backwards to come meet you at age 22 when I'm already past age 22? What you need to be doing is looking at me and saying, okay, when I get to that age, hopefully I can have the amount of substance that this guy has. It doesn't mean you got to do the same thing that I'm doing, but I'm not here to relate to you. And the reason why I said this is one that annoys me the most is I see a lot of men age 35 and up talking and behaving and carrying themselves as if they are 19 simply because they're trying to relate to or advertise to or market to or sell to dudes who are 19 or 24 or 21 years of age. What the hell are you doing? You can sell to somebody who's 24 without trying to act like you are 24. They know you're not 24. You know you're not 24. Your wife and your kids know you ain't 24. Why are you talking as if you are 24 just so you can relate to them? You don't have to. I call that pandering. To me, it's pandering. It's pandering when you you put off this effect as if you are similar to a person that is you're clearly faking and you're clearly acting just to make them feel like you are showing them that you see them how they are. This is bullshit. And a lot of times people will appreciate the fact that you're doing it because it looks like you're making an effort. But as far as I'm concerned, you're just pandering. You're faking. And I don't like being fake with people. Like, I'm going to hold the position that I hold, and I'm going to communicate how I communicate. If that works for you, great, let's go to work. And if it doesn't work for you, that's also great. You go that way, I'll go this way. But I'm not in the business of trying to relate to someone who is significantly younger than me just so they can feel like I'm trying to be on the same page as them. Again, what the fuck do I need to be on the same page as you for? I'm just trying to understand this. If there's some men out there who can explain this to me, please tell me what it is. I know I have a lot of men who listen to this show who actively work with people who are significantly younger than you are. I know I have a lot of sport coaches listening to this, and you sport coaches, many of you are college degree holders. You're 35 and up, and the people you work with are in high school or in college. Do you try to relate to them? I mean, you can relate to them on a level of, okay, here's what you need to understand about how I'm running this program and how you make my team. But are you riding around listening to the music that they're listening to just so you can be on the same page? I remember when I was in college, one of my college coaches, one day I get in his car and we were going to get something to eat or something like that. Now, this guy is, let me see, how old was he? He's probably 30 years older than me. So I'm in my early 40s now. He's probably 70 something. And he had 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying CD in his car. He's listening to 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying. And I found it funny. And I was asking him, why are you listening to 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying? I know this is not the kind of music he grew up listening to, because he's old enough that he was growing up before rap music was even a thing. He's older than my dad. So I knew he wasn't around when rap music was a thing. He damn sure wasn't young. Why is he listening to 50 Cent? He said, I got to keep up with what y'all are listening to. And he said it kind of in a tongue-in-cheek way, but I think he was serious at the same time. And now this is several years ago, a couple of decades ago when this is happening. But I see a lot of men who are, let's say, 40s and 50s these days doing this exact same thing. Like I try to, as a matter of fact, today, when I'm recording this, I was listening to the Rap Life playlist on Apple Music, which is supposed to be giving you like the hottest, newest stuff in rap music. And I've listened to it in the past and heard some new songs that I didn't know about before and found some artists that I like. I listened to it today, and I can only listen for so long because the music is trash. I don't know if the music has gotten worse because it's so much easier to produce music, or if my tastes have just changed. Maybe it's a combination of both, but the music was whack. I was like, this shit is whack. I didn't hear anything I liked. I didn't hear any rappers who I liked. No, none. I'm saying all that to say, I'm not riding around listening to that shit. Just if I got some 19-year-olds in my car, I'm going to listen to the shit that I want to listen to. And if y'all don't like it, then get your own fucking car. Now, I'm not here to relate to you. So I talk about the age bracket that I'm actually in. I talk as if, I'm in the age bracket that I'm in. If you're 23 listening to this right now, understand something. I have lived more life than you have. I have more life experience than you have. Anything you want to do, I've already done. Anything you're doing is old to me. I already did it. Everything you're trying to do, I've already done. Anything I've done, you should be hoping to do, at least on some level. All right. Doesn't mean you got to copy my life. I'm saying I've lived the life that what you're trying to do, I've done. All right. But we can have a conversation. Name some things. I'll tell you if you want to know. Now, again, I'm not going to offer it to you if you don't ask. All right. Everything you're trying to do or anything you are doing is old news to me. I've already experienced that. Now, is it possible that I could learn something from you if I asked enough questions and I probed you for long enough? The answer is yes. I can learn something from you, 19-year-old, if I ask you enough questions. It is true. I guarantee you, though, see, what I just offered you is a possibility. It's possible I can learn something from you if I ask enough questions. I guarantee you, if you talk to me, you're going to learn something. It's not a possibility. It's a guarantee if you talk to me long enough. So I don't need to come to you. You have to come to me. Why? Because, again, your level I've seen already. I've already lived the level that you're at. You have never lived the level that I'm at. Okay, so I see a lot of men 35 and up talking, whether social media or in real life, is if they want to make sure that the young men under 25 knows that the older man knows about the way that the younger men talk. Personally, I don't give a fuck what slang some 24-year-olds are using today. I ain't going to adapt to it because I ain't you. I'm not 24. This is ridiculous to me. Personally, I just think it's ridiculous. I think men look silly when they're trying to do this. You will never see me doing this. When my son, for example, is 15 or 16 years of age and he's able to go out of the house on his own, he has his own little band of friends, and he and his friends are in the living room of my house talking to each other, and I come and join in the conversation, I'm not going to talk to them as if I'm trying to relate to their slang, whatever the slang is when my son is 15 or 16 years old. What the fuck do I need to relate to their slang for? Again, you're 15. You have nothing to offer me. All right, you need to relate to me. I don't need to relate to you. What can I get from learning? What am I going to learn from you at 15? Are you going to show me maybe some new tech stuff or something that's happening on the phone, or maybe some new rapper that I might like? All right, because I did grow up listening to rap music, but generally you should be learning and I should be teaching. Why? Because that's the position that I'm in as an older man. I'm not talking because of what I do for a living or who I am. As an older man, I'm in the teaching position. You're in the learning position. And if you are an older man, you should be teaching much more than you should be learning from some 16-year-old. Point number 5. Today's topic, once again, is part 2 of my series on a message to the old heads, the older men over the age of 35. Number 5, be a standard bearer for the next generation. That is your job, to bear the standard for the next generation and show them what they need to aspire to being, rather than you trying to, let's say, relate to them or get on the same level as where they're at. Your job is not to be amongst the people who are generations younger than you. You're not amongst them. You should really be a level above them or several levels above them, so that they're looking at you like, hey, that's where I want to be if I'm lucky enough to get to that age and I still have my faculties intact I want to be to how that person is. And again, I'm not saying they need to do the exact same thing that you do. They don't need to have a website or a podcast or a coaching program or play basketball. What I'm saying is they should look at the way you carry yourself, your stature, the way that you are respected, the way that people deal with you, and say, that's the way I want people to look at me when I'm whatever age you happen to be. Everybody understand this? That's the mindset you as an old head should have when you're dealing with youth. Not that you are trying to recapture the age that they're at, because that's impossible. That's not going to happen. It is that you are representing the age that you actually are, and that they should hope to one day get to themselves and have the same way of carrying themselves that you have. Your presence and behavior should reflect this understanding, and it should reflect your station in life, regardless of what you do technically, where you work, your job, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not talking about those things. I see way too many older men conducting themselves, again, as if they want to be accepted as part of a group of younger men. Why do you want them to accept you? You got the equation backwards. If you're 46, you're not them. Okay? Even if they do accept you, you still look silly and you sound silly to someone like me who's in your age bracket. Like, why are you walking around talking to these 23-year-olds? You ain't 23. You're old enough to be their dads. Why are you talking as if you're one of their friends? When my son is 16, 17 years old, I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. I'm up here. All right, you're down here. And that's the situation. If I'm 45 years old, I'm not 45, but if and when I am, I'm not adjusting myself to hang out around some 27-year-old. Are you joking? That makes no sense. While I can appreciate picking up some things from men who are a few generations younger than me, that's not my aim. That's not my goal. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to spend my time around a bunch of dudes who are 21 years old. What the hell am I going to gain from hanging out around a bunch of 21-year-olds? I ain't 21. All right, what y'all trying to do? All right, I already did that. I did that 20 years ago. Why would I be trying to relive that with you? I did that already. That's old news to me. Y'all need to catch up to where I'm at. All right, and when you get here, then you can do what I'm doing now. Everything you're doing, I already did. That's in the books. That's in the history books for me. That's your present life. That's my old life. All right, I'm not trying to be what you are. That makes no sense. You need to be trying to be who I am. And again, I'm saying this not really for the younger generation. This message is not to y'all. I told y'all this is about the message to the old heads. Those of you who are 35 and up, I'm talking to you all. Okay? Depending on the way you're conducting yourself, the younger guys should be trying to spend as much time as they can around you instead of you trying to spend time around them. You're trying to spend time around them, you're going backwards. All right? You don't go to them, they come to you. And they should want to come to you because of the way you're conducting yourself and what they see in you. By the way you carry yourself, folks. Gentlemen, old heads. Not because you told them I used to do this and that and I got this and I got that, or I used to be this person or that person. No, that's not why they should be trying to come around you. They should be trying to come around you because they see you and they see the way you're conducting yourself and they say, damn, all right, the way this guy is, I want to get something out of how this guy is. There's something about the way this guy is that I want to get around it, and I want to soak up this game and just learn more about how this man, this old head, came to be who he is and how he is. I want to get around that. They should be reaching out to you. They should be coming to you. You're not going to them. They're going to you. And if you find yourself going to them, you're doing something wrong. You've made a misstep somewhere along the line, Mr. Oldhead. Point number 6. Today's topic, once again, is a message to the old heads. This is part 2 of our 2-part series. Number 6, age gracefully. Aging is an inevitability. All right, everybody eventually gets older as long as you're alive. All right, only way you don't get older is if you die. So I'm assuming most of you want to live. All right, everyone who is listening to this right now, every day, you're getting older. Some people started the race sooner than you. If they are 10 years older than you, they just started getting old 10 years before you started getting old, but you're getting old too. All right, so don't get cocky. All right, one day you're going to be, whatever you consider to be old, one day you're going to be that. Okay? Everybody eventually gets older, and every single day, you're older than the day before. We all know this. This principle applies to everyone. Some of us started earlier than others, and your job, no matter where you are, is to play the position that you're actually in. Not the position that you wish you were in, because you can't really wish or alter this position. You are what you are. If you're 50, you're 50. If you're 27, you're 27. You're 38, you're 38. That's what you are. And then next year, you'll be a year older. Your job is to do the duty of setting up the next generation, do your duty of setting up the next generation to be better than the current generation, because one day they will be in your age bracket And they need the older generation to set the standard the same way that someone set the standard for you, if someone set the standard for you. If your parents set a standard for you when you were a child, then it is your job as a parent to set the standard for your kids and hopefully raise that standard a little bit. Take what you got from your parents, what you learned on your own, and you should raise the standard a little bit so that generation by generation, the bar is being lifted. The bar is being raised and the performance is going up. That's your job, even if you don't have kids. There were people around when you were a child who helped set a standard for you. If it wasn't your parents, maybe it was an uncle, maybe it was a neighborhood elder, maybe it was a community member, maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a sport coach, maybe it was someone in the military, whatever it or whoever it was. They set a standard for you to raise yourself up. You need to do the same thing for the next generation. Now, we call this each one, teach one. That's your job. And you should be teaching them. Again, you're the older one. You should know more than they know. You have more knowledge than them. You have more experience than them. You've been more places than them. You have done more than they have done. You have achieved more than they have achieved. There is no reason why you should be going to them. They should be coming to you, period. 2012, Team USA had USA had a basketball team in the Olympics in London. Heading into the Olympics, the elder statesman on the Team USA team, some of you heard of this guy, his name was Kobe Bryant, was doing he was getting interviewed by press. And Kobe Bryant was at probably the height of his popularity at this point. The previous 3 years, his team, the LA Lakers, had been to the NBA Finals. They had won this is the previous 4 years. They made it to the finals in 2008, 9, and 10. Then in 2011, 2012, they weren't quite so good. And Kobe was still pretty damn good, still doing Kobe Bryant things, although his team wasn't quite as competitive as they had been. And Kobe was still a pretty strong player. He was on Team USA, and they were going to win the gold medal. And heading into the Olympics, he's in front of all this world press, there's a bunch of people asking him questions. And somebody asked Kobe Bryant, do you think there's anything, because he was the oldest guy on the team. So they were playfully referring to him and respectfully referring to him as OG. OG stands for original gangster. That's another term that if you're from urban communities, OG is or you also hear people say UNC, which is short for uncle. And along with old head, UNC, and OG, these are all, depending on how they're used most of the time, these are terms of endearment. They're used as in a respectful way to say that I know you are a generation or two or more older than me, and I'm showing you respect by calling you OG or UNC or old head. Old head is the one that might sometimes be used derisively, but they were calling Kobe OG. And one of the people from the media junket here, the horde, they said to Kobe Bryant, is there anything that you could learn from any of the younger players on the team? Because the younger players on the team were people like LeBron James, Kevin Durant. I believe Steph Curry was on the team. But the next generation of players that will come after Kobe. Basically the guys who are the old heads in the NBA now. These guys were young guys at that time. And Kobe answered the question. He said no. Again, the question was, you think there's anything you can learn from the younger guys on the team? Kobe said no. And the follow-up question was, so what are you saying, Kobe? You know everything? And Kobe said, no, I don't know everything, but I know more than they do. And that's the point that I want you all to get. You see, you might think it sounds kind of arrogant, kind of cocky for me to say what I said earlier in this episode, which is why the fuck am I trying to relate to some 21-year-old? I'm not. I'm not trying to go to you to learn anything. You need to be coming to me. The same thing Kobe said. So now I'm basically justifying my position by telling you Kobe Bryant said it. All right, so I'm using Kobe. Thank you, Kobe. I'm using Kobe as a shield for my position because he said the exact same thing. But even if he hadn't said it, what I said would still stand. And for all of you men over the age of 35, what I said still stands, even if you don't know who Kobe Bryant is. Actually, all of you do. All right. Your job is to respect the position that you currently occupy and play the position that you have so that people who are not there yet can see what it looks like to do it properly. That's your job, old head. If you're 47, if you're 52, if you're 38, your job is to play your position the way you're playing it so that someone who is half your age sees you doing it and says, okay, when I get to that age, I want to have the same level of respect. I want to carry myself with the same level of class and dignity as that guy. Even if they're taking a completely different career and life path as you, they should still follow the energy. I don't want to see a man who is 50 behaving as if he is 30. Motherfucking, you ain't 30. All right, be 50. Now that's what you are. And show the 30-year-olds what they should aspire to be when they turn 50. That's it. Let's recap today's class. It was part 2 of our 2-part mini-series, A Message to the Old Heads. Number 4, stop trying to relate to younger generations. That's not your job. You don't have to listen to their music. You don't have to dress how they dress. You don't need to know what they're looking at on the internet. Why the fuck do I need to know those things? All right, here's where I'm at. Here's what I can do to help you. If you want to be around here, here's how it works. I'm setting the standard. You adjust to it. Young man. I don't even call dudes young man. As soon as you start calling dudes young man, that's when you start to sound like it's when you start to sound old. So I don't use the term young man talking to anybody. But y'all get my point. Get the metaphor of what I'm saying here is that if you're 38, you shouldn't be trying to relate to some 17-year-old. All right, that's your son. All right, he needs to relate to you. You don't need to relate to him. Point number 5, be a standard bearer for the next generation. Your job is not to be amongst people who are generations younger than you. Your job is to be at a level that they should be aspiring to reach, if they are lucky enough to get to the age that you are and have the same level of respect and stature that you have. All right, you are not there trying to relate to and make yourself similar to them. They need to be making themselves similar to you, or at least trying to. They might not even be able to do it because they don't have the refinement or the experience yet to do it, because you got 10, 20 years on them. Number 6, age gracefully. Everybody eventually gets older. Some people started the race sooner than everybody else, but your job is to set the bar for the next generation, not to pretend as if you're part of the current generation, because you ain't. You're part of the generation that is up here. You need to carry yourself as if you are here in the age bracket that you're actually in, and let the people who are in the younger age bracket see you and say, that's where I want to get to. That's the way it's supposed to work. If you're 50, don't act like you're 30. Be 50, because that's what you are. All that said, folks, no matter what age you are, you want to put yourself in a certain stature, a certain essence, a certain level of energy that people look at you and say, I want to get to that, because they see something in you that makes them aspire and makes them want to straighten up and do better. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Have me as your coach, and let's get to work on putting that in place, both energetically and literally, tangibly in your world. That's at workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre, all